All right, what's going on, guys? I actually just shot that other video, looked at it right before, and I was like, damn, this looks really cool. I love this camera. So I was like, I'll shoot another one. So today, what I want to talk about is let capitalism guide you. So I'm going to talk about capitalism a little bit and how it relates in general to what it is and how it relates to you guys going about entrepreneurship, going about business, even the stock market, and picking what you want to do in life and even just rolling with what you're doing now and how that fits into the scheme of capitalism and how it relates. So we'll talk about that, and getting into it, we'll just discuss what capitalism is. And even related to this topic, a lot of people are probably going to get salty and whatnot because I've seen a lot of people get mad about capitalism. People think capitalism is the reason we have problems. The Occupy Wall Street, these anonymous people, you see a lot of the Bernie Sanders crowd, say, oh, capitalism's bad, awful. Well, and that's unfortunate because really a lot of them don't understand what capitalism truly is. A lot of people think we have capitalism today. We do and we don't. We have what's called crony capitalism, unfortunately, which is tight relationship between governments and corporations. So, they're bribing each other, doing all the lobbyists, working together. Pretty much what we see is a government that influences markets based on its relationship with other corporations. That's why you see today, if capitalism really existed, you wouldn't see so few car companies out there, honestly. If real capitalism existed, you would see a lot more car companies. Why do you think there's so many regulations to make a car? Go look at even the issues Elon Musk has had through. That's because of crony capitalism. Over the times of the auto industry growing and proliferating through the United States, what started happening, a relationship developed between the makers at Ford, GM, and all those guys in the government. So, boom. Years and years and hundreds of millions and billions of dollars go through. Eventually, you start seeing all the laws that get created start, the government's impacting, in effect, intervening with markets, and it's intervening with business and the economy, but it's benefiting these companies. So that's what we have today, crony capitalism. Simple as that. I'll go into that more in depth, but really the whole point here is we are not in a real capitalistic society. So that's not my point of the video, because I just want you guys to understand what capitalism is. What capitalism is under the notion that all men are greedy. Every single man is going to operate under his self-interest. It's a very important concept of economics right there. How every man is going to act rationally to maximize his reward and minimize his pain, especially in terms of economics. So what it's saying is, in a capitalist society, it's saying that government should be free from all economic activity, should not intervene with the daily life and economic functions of a society, and should simply let humans in the market dictate and control, and that will balance it out. Pretty much it's saying if you leave a free market, everybody acting in their own self-interest will create the best outcome. It'll create the best products, it'll create the best prices, and it will always be balances. Yes, inefficiencies will exist, but it's saying the market will always balance it. So it's a pretty simple concept of what capitalism is, and it makes sense in theory. It's saying, hey, it's, I think a Rolls Royce is a pretty bad example. We'll use something like a guy selling milk, let's say. So he knows under capitalism, it's saying that the price of milk should be determined by the market. It's whatever the people want to pay for it. So it's whatever people want to pay for, and how that is determined is through supply and demand. What's going to happen is you're going to have farmers who are motivated by their own self-interest to generate profit. What they're going to do is wake up in the morning, milk their cows, take the milk and bring it to the town to trade it for money or other goods because, well, capitalism. For their own self-interest, they're motivated to work. So what they're going to do is go sell it to the market, the people who need milk, and pretty much, depending on who wants what and the amount of people who want what, that market will set the price. And then what's going to happen, more and more producers come in and more consumers, more people are willing to pay a certain price while others aren't. And then more producers are willing to work for less while others aren't. And that's how we have all the different products in the world today. That's why we have so many different milks, is capitalism. And the whole notion under here is by letting the government not intervene and saying, hey, you could only make this much milk, only Bob could make milk, and just letting anybody do what they want, because it's under the notion that capitalism, it will let the best object succeed, pretty much. The best product or service that provides the most value to consumers will succeed. It will be of the highest quality, hence consumers are willing to pay for it. They'll buy it the most, and other consumers won't be willing to buy less. They won't be willing to pay the same amount for less if a producer in the market is already producing something so substantial. So capitalism is ultimately saying the best products will be produced, and people will be happy about it. All the junk products, under capitalism, if there's no government intervention saying, okay, only Bob could make milk, anybody can make milk because everyone's operating under the same laws. If they don't provide to meet the needs of the market, then their business won't stay in business. So that's the whole point there. It's supposed to benefit consumers, benefit companies, and everybody knows, boom, by bringing value, I will get rewarded. If I don't bring value, I will not get rewarded, and that will go to whatever producer does that. So, boom, that's capitalism in a nutshell. It's a great theory, and as you see, it creates a lot of innovation. That's why we have capitalism today. But as we've said, it's crony capitalism, because over times now, anytime the government acts in with regulation, that is crony capitalism, because now anytime the government acts, it's reducing the amount of capitalistic society and, I guess, traits we have. But ultimately, capitalism works out any issues with the economy, balances out any imbalances, and it's pretty cool. But like we said, on the reverse, minute government gets in, that's crony capitalism. I'll even give you guys another example of crony capitalism and what problems it's led to. Like, look at our student debt. If the government did not step in to the college and education industry, and if the government did not back up the loans of college people going to college, taking these loans, if the government did not back it, that's the government intervening on the market, we would not have trillions of dollars of student loan debt. Only reason why we do is because the government decided to back it up. Because if we left it a pure capitalistic society, even as far as schooling went, the government didn't back it up, what would happen? No banks in their right mind would give a fucking 18-year-old kid with no money a loan, so they're going to say, sorry, we're not giving you a loan. So pretty much you wouldn't have all these bad loans being given out and creating this acceptable bubble, because the government wouldn't have stepped in. So capitalism would have worked, and you would have seen that. So there's that. That was a little quick, 5, 6, 7 minute lesson on capitalism. And believe me, I could go into this for days, and hopefully you guys could see these are some of the advantages I gain. I love economics. I love theory, and just, seeing the inner workings of things. And it's just crazy how capitalism is so intertwined, and self-interest, and how it relates to trade and all that. So it's very, very cool stuff. But what I wanted to get at now is how you guys need to let capitalism dictate your actions. So what you want to look at it in the sense, because I don't want to give this off the wrong way, because it could easily be misinterpreted to say, yes, anything that brings money means you're doing it right, or that's a good thing. That's not true. But in essence, that's what capitalism shows us. It says, hey, if your product is bringing in value, under true capitalistic society, if consumers are freely able to go to your product and you're bringing in money and you're generating a profit, that's only because your product provides value. It's meeting a demand and need in the market, hence you're making money. So that's what I want you guys to be saying. Hey, let your competitive advantage guide you. Where do you bring value to the market? See all the different marketplaces of where you're trying to enter, make a product, make a service, get involved. And ask yourself, does this product that I offer, does it provide value? And that's why money is used. Money, people think, oh, money's not everything. In terms of capitalism, money is used as a measuring stick. That's it. Under capitalism, money is simply a yardstick to show how far or how much value you are providing to the market. So under a free market where everyone's going to act under their best self-interest to maximize pleasure and minimize pain, how much money you make is a measuring stick as to how much value you've produced. So the more value you provide to the market in general, the more money you will make. The less value you provide, the less money you make. That's why capitalism works. That's why the good companies stay in business and the bad ones, well, they come and go. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys is find your competitive advantage and pay attention to the competitive advantage in your life. Competitive advantage, what am I saying? That competitive advantage, capitalism, and let capitalism guide you and see where in your life has the yardstick shown where you've provided value. Where have you made the most money in your life, essentially, is what I'm asking. What did you do? What service, what product did you engage in and provide the most value, measured by pretty much how did the market react? So that's what you got to think about by letting capitalism guide you. But next, too, start thinking like a capitalist. Say, hey, what product am I going to do? Well, you have to understand you're at the mercy of the competitors that you're competing against. You got to understand how many producers are there, how are you going to be better, how are you going to get to the market, and that's usually by providing the most value to the consumer. Then you say, how many consumers are there? How am I going to go in and ultimately, how am I going to provide value for them? And through that, by using your skills, knowing yourself, you can say, hey, I have these skills. I know this is where I can provide value to people, and boom. It's a simple concept I always teach with business. The more value you provide to people, the more value you will provide to yourself and make money. So if you say, hey, this is where I can provide the most value, that's where you are going to make the most money. So ultimately, I want you guys to look at, capitalism to be able to say, hey, this is my competitive advantage. Understand capitalism in its nature, because we do operate from somewhat, and use it as a guide to understand it has its own. It's like just capitalism is just a nature. It's just the nature of how money in the world works. So you just got to understand the nature of how, when you provide value, how things work. So turn into a capitalist. Understand that if you're not providing the most value and someone's providing better for you, the customers are going to go there and you'll go out of business. So you understand the dynamic, what happens when the clouds go over here. When the clouds go over here, you'll be great. But before it gets all tricky and convoluted even more, I know I could talk a lot. That's already been like 12 minutes. I'll leave it there. So if you guys like this video, give me some questions so we can engage. Because if you guys give me, give me some questions, give me a dialogue, we could build off it, turn this one video into multiple videos. But that's on you guys. Would love to hear from you. Comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. If you aren't a citizen yet, make sure you guys sign up. I want to see you guys in those webinars. Love talking to you all. We have the recorded webinars too, so if you feel like you miss anything, you can catch up whenever. But anyways, there's that. And lastly too, applications. December 16th is the deadline. December 16th, 2016. So get those in. All right, guys. Love you. Stay in school.